And then, quickly, forget this. Okay, so moral rights. Copyright gives you two rights. Moral rights, the fact that your name must be mentioned, right? And then the economic right is the right to attribution, right to reproduction, publication, performance, distribution, broadcast. If you have a copyright, only you can do all this, and anybody that does it without your consent has infringed. Call us, let's collect your money. Move. So I wanted to give the distinction. No, come down. I wanted to give the distinction between authorship and ownership. So this is the distinction. If I write the work as a writer, script writer, I'm the author of that work, in fact, film. Right? But then that literary work I wrote is not yet a film, right? It needs to be adapted before it can enter audio visual. If I give it to, let's say I give it to Mr. Paul and say, take, okay, produce. He pays me. But if there's no contract saying I am giving him the ownership of the work, that's the liability he has collected. If he goes and starts making money, I can come back for him. So you need an agreement saying that I, the author, am transferring the ownership of that work to him. That's one. Two, even after that has been done, if he goes about publishing the movie and then he didn't put my name as the writer, that's the moral right. Right? He didn't put my name as the writer. He's running into big trouble. Because my name must be mentioned as the writer of the work. That one, before now, the Copyright Act, the old one, says it is inalienable. There's nothing you can do about it. But now it has changed. The new act says that it is also transmissible after the death of the author. So my children can decide to say, okay, take both the moral rights. Yes. And finally, let's move on for fair use. Okay, all this work are now in the, go back, all this work are now in the public domain. And as creators in the house, as writers, I am daring us, please make use of this work. Especially if you are looking at a foreign, if you want to think of the concept of a foreign popular movie, but told in an African setting. Do you understand what I'm saying? Look at Marvels, when they decided to now create an hero, and then they did Wakanda, right? So you can explore some of those works that are in public domain and create an African thing from it. And let an African producer produce it. It will sell. That's something we can explore. Move. Okay, social media. All right, students in the house. Every time you post on social media, you get followers, you steal content, you post. So these are the issues. When you copy a content that you did not write, and then you publish as if it's yours, you've committed copyright infringement. Liable for both civil damages. You can collect all your life savings. If you don't have money, maybe you'll go after your parents. Then they can also jail you. So you need to be careful. Create your own content. Be original. I was hearing the talk yesterday about using your phone to make money. Be original. It's very easy. You can just put it and use yourself as the content. When you have to use someone else, or when you have to do a video, you need the consent of the people you are taking their image. This is what we call data privacy law. And that is something directors, film producers also need to be aware of. There is now in Nigeria something called the Data Protection Act. When you are doing that public scene thing where you capture people's images, you need to get exactly their consent, because they will come for you. Recently, we did one case. There was a movie that was shot. They tried to use that NSAS scenario in the movie. Unfortunately, the photographer or the cameraman captured some image. They even took one thing on social media, the voice of someone. The person is currently suing. The producer, after clearing all the old thing with investors and all that, now it's coming up in the light. He has to start looking for money. How do I pay this guy? Do you understand? So these are the things we need to be careful about. And this is some of the things the lawyers could also help in advising during production, pre-production, and even during your development, so that you know all the things you need to do ahead of time. Okay, there's also something called AI. Has anyone ever produced movie here using AI? So we are still crawling, eh? These guys have gone far. You are nice. You want to tell us about it briefly? The fact that there is somebody at all that has done it deserves clap. Good
everyone. So I was scrolling through my phone one day and I saw a link on how you can develop a script, from a script to narrate images, from images to getting a song and then publishing. So that particular day I dedicated that day, and then I went to, first of all I started with ChatGPT, and then the story I entered there was the story of Obanje. So I instructed the ChatGPT to give me a short story about Obanje, and he gave me a short story. So I copied the whole script, and then I moved to another AI app that can translate to a voiceover, and then I entered the written text from a ChatGPT. So I got the audio translation of that text. Then from there I went to Adobe Express, where I can now get the stock footages and generated footages. Then based on the story I've written, I have to now start putting in prompts for each of those words and the text. So when I started putting in prompts for that, there are a lot of stock footages there, both moving images. I'm not talking about still images. So from there, I started putting in prompts of those my texts, because I already have an audio. After generating those images, I now placed the audio translation, and then I started placing the visuals on top. And at the end of the day, I published it. So it's online.
Cool.
Just Obanje story.
Obanje story, great. Now, he has done, see all the places he did and the things he was adding. There is sufficient effort. So he has done that originality. There is copyright in the output he got. No doubt. Notwithstanding, there is copyright in that thing he has gotten. And what he has done is he has beat time. It takes a writer, a script writer, averagely how many years or how many months to write a script? Average, give and take. Writer he has 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Depends. If he's not sleeping, maybe 1 month. If he's sleeping, depends also on the story or the idea. So that is it. And ChatGPT can give you this thing at the tip of it, right? But there are dangers also with AI. There are dangers with what? AI. And these are the dangers. Now, ChatGPT, because I'm also a researcher, I've taken the time to look at all the social media as well as the various AI. They have different terms and conditions. You need to read the terms and conditions. Just go straight to the intellectual property part. Well, what you will see is that ChatGPT is saying that the input you give me is your own. The output that I give you is not your own, but it's also not my own. Do you know why he said it's not my own? Because he has gone to steal people who are from different places to now give you an output. But he's not assuring you that this output is only for you. So he now went further to say, and you are giving me non-exclusive perpetual license that story might still be given to someone else. Do you understand? So these are the intricacies of AI. So what we advise mostly is if you must use AI, read the terms and conditions and know how to align, and then get every bit and still use your human intellect to now expand and fine-tune it, just like he did with Obanji. So those are the issues anyway. Let's move on. Legal compliance, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to give you case studies, but no, go. This is the main part, the money. All right, so the money. How have we been helping filmmakers to make money using their intellectual property? The first thing is actually secularization. Not a lot of people do it, but I thank God today that, is it today that Bank of Industry is coming on? Is it tomorrow? I'm not sure. But some banks, they are now understanding the concept of IP secularization. You have a fantastic pitch. That is IP in the work. You should be able to use it, go to a bank and take loan or ask for some investment equity. Most banks are afraid to do this, so they are still crawling. But what we have seen in practice is that a lot of banks are now beginning to look at it and they are beginning to consider it. Bank of Industry is one, and I think it has sponsored some films that you know, including I think Fatima. Is it? Amina, yes. Bank of Industry sponsored that. We also know of Sterling Bank. They are open to that, communications. We advised them at a certain time, and they had to create a special unit for that purpose. And some other banks as well. And finally, you can do through assignment. Okay, I'm rounding off now. You can also make money through assignment of your old film. Maybe somebody can create something new out of it. Assign the old film if you want to. But look at it very well. Licensing. Franchise. Licensing is when you license, give it to Netflix to shoot. At the end of the day, they'll keep paying you. Showmax and the rest of them. Joint venture, spin-off, merchandising and the rest of them. The final thing I would say here is collaboration. Collaboration. We cannot fly alone. You need to look out for your limitations and then see the person that has strength. Tap into it. Fine-tune it, have an agreement, and work together. People are doing a lot of things in the industry through collaboration and joint ventures. Once the thing is clear, be free to go into collaboration because you will never know what it will land you. Because of time, we can't go far, but I have to end here. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Can we put our hands together one more time for you? Please, sir, we have questions. We'll just take 2 questions because our time is fast spent. Just 2. 1, 2. Okay. Sorry about that. Yes, sir.
Yes.
The other questions will be publicized on our website, the answers to them.
Yeah, I couldn't talk too much in the first, when we're talking about ownership and proprietary rights. I just want to shed some more light on it. First and foremost, he did talk about something called chain of title. Chain of title is very, very important, both for the writer and also for the producer. When the writer has written any work of art, he, in creating that work of art, on the primary level, he owns the rights. You, the producer who has commissioned him, if you haven't commissioned him via a contract stating the rights you are going to acquire from him once he finishes writing that material, and you take it, you produce it, you exhibit it, it is still not yours because of that. The chain of title hasn't shown that right he has in the creation stage has been transferred to you. So I hear a lot of people say, oh, I thought about it. Thinking about it is not the right. An idea that has not been expressed is not the right. The first person to express that idea. So I can tell you a whole story, but you wrote it. It is you that owns it, heading in there, no documentation of it. It is the person that first expresses it. So even as a producer, even if you have the idea and it's just a 3-line idea, write that idea. If you have the title, write the title on that paper and transfer it. Let there be evidence that you transferred it, even if via email or something that has a timestamp to it. I'm just expressing this to you guys so that you know we touch. You get what I mean? It's very important to know these things. Always express your idea, no matter how small it is. Express it in a documentable way that is time stamped. Whether it is the book, I'm a writer, a lot of producers call me. He was he said, oh, Jude, but I need your email address, I need your WhatsApp number for me to share it with you. You see, he didn't tell me verbally. He's an intelligent man. He wants to express it via a medium where it has been documented and it has a timestamp. When he finally expresses that like in terms of a mixed app and he wants to send it to Netflix or Amazon Prime or whoever, they are now going to ask him, you need to show us a chain of title. Show us documented like as a lawyer. Show us how it went from Jude who wrote it to you and then like that until it has come to a place where we can now acquire it. So it's very important. I just want to share this with you guys.
Yeah.
Ideas are nothing. Let's go.
And just to throw a bit more light into what he said, there is I won't mention him, of course, because I'm bound by confidentiality, but there's a well-known producer that couldn't get a Netflix deal because of that lack of chain of title, that ownership. That's why it's critical. You need to make sure that if you're going to them, that you are showing them that you have all the rights embedded in you. Because they pay people like us heavily to do that due diligence. And most times they will point it out and say, oh, there's a gap between Mr. A and Mr. B. So that's very critical. Yes.
Agree.
Oh, okay. After you then we can close it then.
Good day, everybody. I'm interested in copyright, especially editorial works. In case somebody publishes a book, say in US, and suddenly the book is being published in China, Japan, Australia, and so on and so forth. Is that not a breach of copyright?
Okay, so there's this thing called the International Treaty, where countries of the world came together and said, okay, let us respect each other. Let's sign this treaty so that we can protect our intellectual property. So, because copyright doesn't need to be registered, and most parties, most countries of the world are part of TRIPS Treaty, and the Benin Convention, Paris Convention, and the rest of them, you might be able to still enforce it in that country. But there are some countries that specifically says that you have to still register the copyright. Like for instance, in US, there's a registration system. So that's where you may have some bit of issues, but even that can be worked around.
Sorry, can I take the benefit of being a logistics person to ask this question
Okay.
before her?
Okay.
You said she's the last, right?
Yes, yes.
We have another class coming on. Okay. Sorry, the question I want to ask is, one is, if you wrote something, normally you take your work to a publisher, as for the print now. You wrote a short story
for the streaming giants, you need to understand that they are working with very high level IP experts from their side. And then they will come to high level IP experts too in Nigeria. So they come to us too. And what we have seen, please, let this remain here. What we have seen is they will negotiate to the very last drop of the blood. We see a lot of our producers going into bed with these guys without having strong backup of their own lawyer. Let me tell you what a lawyer can do for you in that licensing negotiation. The lawyer, first of all, will look at your work, and then for IP experts, not all law firms can do that though, but some law firms can do that, like we do valuation as well. We're going to try and value, at least using the quantitative method at first, to value what your IP is worth. How do you go into a bargaining this thing without knowing how much the thing is worth? And it's not about what you think it's worth, because what you think is worth within the territory could be 5,000 naira. But if you look at it from a global perspective, you could be looking at 200. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we look at it with that knowledge. Your lawyer should be in there to also negotiate. That's why you are under, the lawyer is under retainership. If you are sweating, he's sweating. If you are moving, he's moving. Do you understand? We tend to do these things ourselves, but that's a story for another day. When you've negotiated, you get a good deal. And let me tell you why you should get a good deal at that first instance. Of course, they will come to you that is a standard contract, take it or leave it. But not when your pitch is good. If they see why it's different, of course, for instance, they saw why Gangs of Lagos was different. Do you understand what I'm saying? If they see why these things are different, then they will then begin to do what? To negotiate and give you the value for your money. And you need to understand that when you are doing that negotiation, there is first of all the first original this thing that you need to negotiate. You also need to consider the sequel. What if you decide to do a part two? What if you decide to do a spin-off from that movie? All those things are more rights, more money. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have an organization and I employ a staff, which of course I pay every month. During the course of his working for me, created a program. I pay him every month, like I said, but along the line I find who owns the copyright of that program he created while he was working for me.
What was your, are you a media publishing house?
That's an organization.
Okay. Its contract of employment, was it stated there that you will be creating programs and the programs he created will belong to you?
Actually, the part of the
There was no contract.
there was no contract. I know he works on it. So and I paid him.
So that's the problem. So what you are paying for is for the use of what he has created. But the ownership of what he has created does not belong to you. So that time you fired him, you have also fired the use of that program. So he takes it with him. That is why it's critical. That's why during pre-productions and all that, one of the key things you do, right, is to have your retained lawyers to do the agreement with your actors, your crew, your photographer, everybody have their own separate agreement. So that's it. The agreement could have done it, but for now, it's his own. The program is his own.
I noticed that we still have more questions. I'm begging.
My create visual content for social impact. So say,
So you're a content creator.
well, I wouldn't say that, I'm a psychologist.
Okay.
So I've done videos on cerebral palsy. I've done videos to raise awareness on sickle cell. I've done videos on various health issues, right? Now, if I tell a good story and I send it out, just for the awareness campaign, say 4-minute short video, and it's that intriguing that after 2 years, a filmmaker takes from it and then does something bigger with it. You know, a feature film things. So when I put out my work, I'm not commercializing it because I want it to go as far. I even beg people when I go for conferences, I say, okay, after my speech, take this, every student download this, share it with your friends and all of that, yeah? At the end of it all, I'm actually shooting myself on the leg by allowing people have this free access to this stuff without, putting, meanwhile, my original, interest is to make sure that it gets to everybody so people get to know about it.
All right.
So how do I manage this situation?
All right. So the first thing is, first of all, it's also a wonderful strategy when you decide not to, own money from the first stage in order to publish, to make something go viral. Look at Pharrell. Because you saw what he did there. He did wasn't concerned with copyright, and that thing went very viral. But now he's now making money from it. So it's one beautiful strategy. That's for that day. On your question, what you have done by giving it out is for people to use for their enjoyment. You have not given them the right to commercialize it. Do you understand? It's like buying book. You went to a store and you bought Chimamanda Ngozi and you took it. You can give it to another person. You can take it to anywhere. You can read it anytime you like. You can tear it. But what you cannot do with it is to now go and start selling or copying it or creating half of a yellow song part 2. If she now asks you, now say, I bought the part 1 now. Do you understand? So that commercialization right remains in you. That company that has done that is in breach. Sue the house.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Barrister. Thank you. We are going straight into the next session, and the moderator I'm going to be welcoming, so she will take over. And she's not other as you make good use of your hands. Please welcome Asteria Nwamaka Kingsley. As we go to marriage, holy marriage between town and gown, presenting film students to becoming film practitioners. Please keep clapping as she takes over.
Okay, and you all agree that the panel discussion we had earlier was fire. You understand that the Nollywood is intentional about changing the narrative and they are not playing about it. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to be your anchor for today's panel discussion on the holy marriage between town and gown, preparing film students to become film practitioners. This topic is crucial in bridging the gap between academic knowledge and practical skills in the film industry. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished panelists whose insights and perspective will enrich our discussion today. Mr. Teco Benson. Dr. Charles Okwuowulu. Mr. Jude Idada. And finally, Mr. Obi Okoli. I understand the holy marriage between town and gown, preparing film students to become film practitioners is an important connection and collaboration between academic institutions, gown, and the local community or industry, town, to help film students transition from learning about filmmaking in school to actually working as professionals in the film industry, emphasizing the integration of theoretical knowledge with practical skills and real-world experience to prepare students for successful careers in filmmaking. I encourage each of us to actively participate in this discussion and feel free to ask questions when the opportunity is presented to us. I will join the panelists now. I will see them. Okay, Mr. Teco Benson, please can you share your personal experience transitioning from being a film student at any point you're a film student?
Oh, yes. Everybody. Take the mic. No.
Hello. Okay. Reduce the light. The back reduce or kill it, please.
Okay, I want to say that I didn't start out as a film student from the beginning. This is my 30th year in the industry.
I want you to put it off.
Started as an actor.
You should put it off.
So I can call myself an informal student. When I came into the industry, I didn't go first of all to the 4 walls of film school before I started my journey, but I was intentional about obtaining my education in the field when I started. It was after my entry into the film industry that I contemplated going back to study more about films. So while I came in there, I was very conscious, much as my interest was in acting, I was deliberately studying the whole activities that happen behind the camera and even in front of the camera. The entire process of filmmaking. I was studying well research, and it helped me a lot in becoming what I am today. I wasn't just acting for acting's sake. I know then I was acting, but behind my mind, my interest was to be a director from the very beginning. Acting was like very intoxicating then. Every young man wanted to be an actor. And the fan base was there, people loved us in front of the camera. But something was driving me, something very strong. I wanted to be the person telling that story. I wanted to tell my own story, my perspective. I had a strong vision that I wanted to pass across. In short, coming into the industry, I came with a vision to use film as a medium of change, to make serious change in the world. And those were the driving force that propelled me telling those lessons, and they helped me to do it. So I think I'll stop there for now.
How important is it for film students to engage with the local film community while still in school? What benefits can they gain from this interaction?
A lot of benefits. Number one, in film school, there are limitations. It's about theories and very few practicals. So, number one is holistic education. When you come into the industry, you are going to face a lot of education on set. Number one, you see, the school is a different place from the field. All right? There are lots of guys, like, we have people in the academia that don't have the spirit. That's why people like Charles stand out in school, because he is a film practitioner. At the same time, he's also in the academia. Even his colleagues in school respect him because of that. There is a whole lot of difference from what you have as a scholar and what you obtain as a filmmaker, as a practitioner. Students of film are supposed to, even as at the entry level or even when they're in school, to have a romance with the film practice, with the film. Because number one, there are many things you're going to benefit. Now, understanding, witnessing the production, witnessing it in the field gives you a lot of education. There's mentorship. You identify these big people you'll be watching from outside. You go and go through mentorship on that. That mentorship goes a long way, all right? And because something somebody learned within his 30 years of experience, it can impact that knowledge to you within just a few days or weeks you are spending with him. You're going to learn a lot of things that will be like a shortcut for you to navigate the murky waters of the industry. The industry is so large, and there are many landmines and many rough experiences that you're going to experience, if you're coming from the school. All right? So it's very, very, very important that you have a romance. If you come from film school and jump straight to the field, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're likely going to fail.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benson. Mr. Jude Idada, are you ready for us? Mr. Benson said it's essential for students to start romanticizing with works while in school. I don't know, in what ways can academic institutions better prepare film students for the practical aspects of working in the film industry? And what skills do you believe are essential for success in this field?
Well, great question, but I think you're asking the wrong person. We have an academician right here, so I think I will take another question, but let's whoever the cap fits, let him wear it. Please, Dr. Sharp.
Okay, thank you very much. We only have some legends here who is my senior in this, both in the academic industry and the profession. Okay, but let me attempt answering the question. The challenge I think we have is the fact that most lecturers in the university might need to have a reorientation so that we could set our pedagogy very well. Because right now, the educational system, the pedagogical aspect of the educational system, that's the learning tools, our curriculum is based on theory. You go in to study theater arts and all they will teach you is Shakespeare, they will teach you Aristotle's Poetics, without necessarily connecting the contributions of these great scholars of the classical age to the modern reality. So you come out as a theater student having some theories that may not connect to the modern reality. So I think that what the nation needs to do is to first of all organize workshops for firstly the lecturers before the students. Now I was amazed that my students who we are doing their IT here, we are 11, getting here, thinking I will meet them. I learned that 10 of them we are recalled back to my university because their IT has ended 2 days ago. And I was wondering if they had done their ITs for 2 months and then a film festival of this magnitude was to take place. Couldn't they have just spent the rest of the 3 days to do it? And I was told that a lecturer told them to come and take a test, a theoretical test. So, and these students are helpless. So when you look at life from this perspective, you discover that if you want to carry the message, you're not carrying it to the students. You should target the lecturers and tell them that this kind of forum is what the students need to learn and interact with film practitioners. Right from the one when I was studying theater arts about 25 years ago, I was set out to interface with industry. Obi Okoli came to our university then, I think in the year 2000, University of Nigeria, to shoot a film. And I was running around him. But again, I am so surprised that I asked for my transcripts the other day, about 3 days ago. When they sent it back to me, as I was looking at courses I did back then, over 25 years ago, they are still the same courses our students are still doing currently. 25 years difference, still the same dramatic theory and criticism, still the same course, no modernization. And it's not something one person can, shout about. So I feel it's a call for all of us to see how we can change the curriculum so that we can adapt our students to the modern reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. I call him Charlie. He's my very good friend. Now, this question is very, very critical. We're talking about marriage between town and gown. I'll beg to ask, we might sit there. You know, you talked about AI. Good. Can you stand up a bit? Give him the microphone. Please, can he be given a microphone? Sorry for keeping you standing. Yes. You attended which university?
University of Nigeria, Nsukka.
Department?
Theater arts. I was my
Theater
lecturer.
arts, theater and...
Okay, theater and film.
Good. I'm getting at something. Could you tell us if you learned film at the UNN? By the way, he's my student. He was my student. Did you learn film at the UNN?
Okay, actually, I would say no. Capital no. And the title, theater and film, the film part, that's what they even say, it's like a title. So the film started from, okay, when they brought, because I was in second year when you came in as a lecturer. So that was the first time I started having film experience. So they bought cameras, they don't know how to operate. And they also teach us things, they don't even know how it works. So it's all about Wikipedia. So at some point, even before I started, I enrolled as a theater student. I was already in the industry doing little stuff, so I have little experience. So you were the only hope we had in the department that we were going to practice film. Then one of the things that happened then was we made the first film in the department, Spokesman of the Oracle, which we were supposed to direct. I said supposed because I don't even know if they gave you the opportunity to direct, because as soon as we came on set, all the lecturers started pulling weight. They want to show they understand this theory, they know how to do this. So he was fighting with almost all the lecturers so that he can be able to direct what the script says. So many things happen. So for me, I keep telling them till today, and that's why they may not like me, that I wasted my 4 years. So they say I didn't waste it. That's okay. For the fact I was able to learn and develop mentally, I would say it's a waste. But if what I came for was film, I didn't get it. But I would prefer doing philosophy and going other courses that is helping my life to think critically than spending time to dance, do choreography, do drama. I know I'm not going to do. All right, Lennox. Yeah, so let me not go first, sir. All right, Lennox. Please, can we give him a round of applause? Why I said give him a round of applause is he came from nothing, but today he is something in film. And I dare say that some of them from the UNN and other institutions and other schools have actually progressed from basically nothing in film to becoming film giants. We also have film giants like him elsewhere from the same school. And that's why this topic is very, very instructive.
so has come to Abakaliki to do same. So when we're talking about town and gown, it's an unending fight. I don't see when we are going to have that marriage. But it is important to note that most of our students who go to such schools actually get to JAM on account of film. And when they get there, it becomes dancing and drumming. Some of them manage to get out. Some now take recourse to learning through the internet. I'm sure you must have learned quite a lot from the internet. I know about, what's this tall guy from Sugar? It's not Syrian. Tall, he's happening big now. He had a loud wedding. Yes, K. People like that entered the four walls of the university, Department of Theatre and Film, to learn film. But they end up doing theatre. Now, K is also into something big in film. I don't know how we're going to solve that problem as a matter of fact. Maybe we should, as a matter of fact, talk to the schools themselves, organize more workshops for lecturers in theater and film, so that we open their eyes to the fact that no matter how you feel right, you cannot get into film. We are at best, you tell the students what you read in the books. But in essence, we're not doing well with those institutions. I don't know if I should continue. But let me stop here in the meantime. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Obi Okoli. That was a lot. Dr. Charles Okwuowulu briefly explained what could be done. Like, if we can be practical with that, I think it will help a bit. Mr. Jude Idada, I pray this question is for you. What role does networking play in the career development of film students? How can aspiring filmmakers build meaningful connection within the industry?
Yeah, great. Is that question to me? Okay. Yeah, first and foremost, why I handed the microphone over was I basically believe that some questions should be answered by people who have not just the scholarly knowledge, but also the experiential knowledge. In terms of networking, life, succeeding in life is about networking. No matter the profession you are in, people you know, as they say, your network makes your network. You can never ever underestimate it. Let me say something else. The session we had just before now, every time they asked questions, there was not one student that raised up their hands. There was not one student that attempted a question. Everybody kept quiet. You can't go far like that. You have to differentiate yourself. I'll give you another practical example why you have to step out of your comfort zone. Have the confidence to speak your truth. Have the confidence to ask a question, even if you do not know. The point is that the reason why you ask a question is to know, isn't it? So when you sit down and you're quiet, what you're telling whoever is facilitating the lecture is that you know. And that's why he kept on saying, oh, we know. But I can see your eyes. You didn't know anything, but you were asking anything. We won't go far. The late Herbert Wheatley of blessed memory, GT Bank. The classmates of mine called Roosevelt. No, then it was GT Bank. It was GT first. Yes, so when it was in GT, a classmate of mine who had just finished with university, his name is Roosevelt Obuna. We're classmates. He was the most practical, the most engaging kind of person. Whether he knew or whether he did not know, he will stand up and he will connect. The first class they had, their induction, he just kept on asking questions, kept on engaging the late Herbert Wigwe. This is 30 years and thereabouts ago. And after the session, Herbert went to him and said, just because of your hunger to know, I want to hold your hand, that wherever I go, you will go. He went with Herbert to Access Bank. When Herbert left GT Bank to Access Bank. Today, do you know who is the owner is? He's the MD, the GMP and CEO of Access Bank. When Herbert Wigwe retired and went up to Access Bank, he put him as the substantive successor of him. Do you know what that means? That means he recognized that thing in him, that need, that hunger to network, to connect, to ask, to be energized, to be fed. That is what life is all about. Let me go back to myself to quickly answer the question and hand over this mic. Just like him, I did theater and film in the only university in Nigeria, the University of Ibadan. At that time, I came from medicine. I came from medicine to African economics and then to theater. My dad wanted me to continue at 300 level in theater. I said no, I wanted to start from 100 level, and I started from the beginning. Every opportunity I had, I met my lecturer across university. I would go to the Uthe Institute. I would travel. I would go to Eminent. Eminent just unfidelis. Okay, so you do. When I met him, I was 17, I was 18 or something. When I was with Eminent. The point I'm just trying to make was that it was me chasing these opportunities. Yes. People used to ask me that time in school, you chop dog leg. Where are you? I'm going to just NFI jobs to go and be in a short film. I would just watch because, as he rightly said, they called it theater and film, but there was no film. There really was no film. You had to take the initiative yourself, and there was no YouTube at that time. So imagine how the disadvantage was. But I was dead. I was possessed with that need to know people. I knew Regina Askia, Zed Ejiro, and all of them. I was there with Mahmoud Ali Baloum. I was this small boy that was always in class. And every of them remembered me. And look at, I finished, I went to Canada, I did my postgraduate in film, I went to film schools in California and all of that stuff. Just for me to understand the academic part of it. But in terms of the practical part of it, it was me that chased it. In a class of 85, my graduating class in UI, I am the only practicing filmmaker. I am the only practicing person in theater. I am the only one that has won awards and all of them. The rest are in banks and all of that stuff. But the point is that I am what I am because I stepped out of my comfort zone. I took it upon myself to network. I took it upon myself to connect. If you are silent, you will be forgotten. If you are forgotten, you will be wasting. Just like I said, the 4 years of his life, you'll be wasting it. So I spoke to two girls there. I said, what university are you from? They said, Godfrey Okoli University. And I was surprised that they wear uniforms. But that was by the way. But the point I'm just trying to make is that if you do not step up and engage with the practitioners you are meeting at this film festival, volunteer, intern, chase knowledge, chase experiential knowledge. You can never, just like what Teco said, you can never quantify the knowledge that he has. 30 years. 30 years. You cannot let that knowledge stay here with you for 4 days and leave without you tapping anything away from it. It is in your hands. Step out and use it. If not, you die empty.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jude. That question was definitely for you. You touched all aspects that should have been touched. Dr. Charles, I would like to ask, as technology continues to evolve, the young man has explained how he did NIP. How should film schools adapt the curriculum to ensure students are equipped with the latest tools and techniques used in the industry?
Okay, the problem I keep saying we have is because most times, peradventure after this panel, I might receive a query by my fellow lecturers. I think the But let me just say my mind. Whatever happens, let it happen. The problem is, most people who are making decisions on behalf of these students, they need to, be here to know the trends. Each time we have film festival across the country, I try to attend all of them, and I just don't just attend to while away time. I attend to sit down and listen to filmmakers talk. Especially with the trajectories in technological development, digitization process. Today, we know that the YouTube, Facebook seem to be the biggest distributors of film in the world. As Yamaba said today, I was at his class, said it's a leveler. And it's truly a leveler. But because of the way the university system especially has positioned things, there are bottlenecks. And then this person is a professor. Because he's a professor, you see him, or he's believed to be the owner of every knowledge, especially when it comes to these aspects. And that professor we are talking about may not understand what any lens, any type, or different types of lenses. But that same professor is teaching film and graduating PhD in film. And they don't understand what YouTube channel, they even don't have Facebook accounts. And you're talking about digitization. So these are the problems. And I feel that for us to tackle it, I would want to employ Uchago to, organize a section for professors. Professors and then the academic, community, especially the theater arts, theater and film academic community, for us to have a conversation on the new, way of things, especially with regards to the aspect of digitization. I was to come here, I called a couple of my colleagues to join me to come here. And a couple of them made a couple of excuses. But one of them always travels far away for conferences. And I asked him a question. So if this were to be a conference where you go and blow all the grammar, theorize all the things, you spend money and go. But here, where you talk about practice, you are shying away from it. But she answered one thing, said that if she comes to this place, it doesn't score her any points in her promotion. But if it goes for those conferences, it scores her point for promotion. And I told her, at my levels, I don't need somebody to define me. Let me define myself. So if all the lecturers should equally have this mentality that we don't need to, do things for promotions and so on, then it begins to change. But I believe, going back to your question, I believe that the digitization process is playing key parts in, creating filmmakers, democratizing the industry, making everybody a filmmaker. But again, the people who are educating these students should really have this knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause. Please note that the Bank of Industry will come up shortly to talk about film funding and finance. We are rounding up soon, and we would like Mr. Teco Benson to give us advice. What advice would you give to film students who are about to graduate and enter the workforce? I know you guys have talked a lot about it, but what steps can they take to stand out in a competitive job in the market?
Okay, I believe they have all listened to our contributions. The school, more of, is about certification right now. You go there, collect your certificate, you come out and face the world. The industry is so big, depending on the area you want to pursue. We have directing, we have producing, we have cinematography, we have different options. They must have taught you all this in school. Some of you have not even had close contact with the camera. You don't even know how the camera works, you don't understand how production works, the process. That is why the mentorship I talked about is very important. Internships is important. Networking is important. All these are very important. Festivals like this, very important. The people you meet here, beyond taking pictures, try and get something useful from these people. Take their contacts, ask questions, and then forget about love, forget about every other thing. Go, because like Jude said here, your destiny lies in your own hands. Your life will be what you make out of your life. So take this opportunity and that hands-on experience, forget about your BSc or your BA. The moment you come out, look for a production house to get yourself attached to it. If you are looking at directing, nobody will give you a movie to direct. It's impossible. You're going to commit suicide and destroy a production company's fortune. So you go and start as a production, you be employed in the process, you go and work either as a production manager, if they can give you that opportunity. It's impossible. You can start from a PA, you can graduate and learn. Humble yourself. Learn. I told you I did that. I had all my degrees. Right now, that's what Charles is doing now. I'm doing a PhD with some of our colleagues now. What he's trying to do is to see how he can correct this same thing by making our practitioners to go and do a PhD and go back to the school in our retirement so that we can help these students. I'm really crying for them. I think for me, it's time to scrap theater as department. I've been saying that. I'm sorry, people they should scrap it. People should just go and study film studies. I'm just telling you. People should go and study film studies. You know, because the industry is growing now, it's very big. If you go teach people just theater and they come out, they become useless. Where are they going to do that? Is it in churches that they will be performing all this church drama? I don't know. Let's prepare these people to succeed. Let's prepare. People come to school, spend 4 years in school, and we're not preparing them to succeed. We need to prepare them to succeed. I'm sorry I may be extreme in saying we should scrap theater. Yeah, it's okay. So let me surrender here. Obi, you can
Teco, we're not going to scrap that. We won't do that. If you do that, then you have taken food off so many mouths. I just want to share one experience with you. When as a young person, as a young producer, we were assembled in Nollywood to do Things Fall Apart. That was 1985. Don't correct me, I'm telling you the year. 1985. When we came, because I went through higher school where we studied Things Fall Apart as a text, into my first year in Ibadan, same theater, and then it was theater arts. Good. Where we also studied theater arts. There were things I knew about Things Fall Apart. And I had an Oga, Hala Kalonu, who was head of my own department. We did props and location during Things Fall Apart. I walked up to my Oga with the producer, Adelau Nedibia, from NTA Port Harcourt. I told them, the guy you have brought to be cast as Okonkwo, it is wrong. The person that was brought in to play Okonkwo was Emma Edobai. Emma Edobai used to be Teco Benson's artist, primary artist. I said, no way. There's no way a Benin person can play that deeply cultural film. Okay. Can you ask him to call his name Okonkwo? Because when Elaine and Justice Esiri came up, what were they calling Okonkwo? Okonkwo. Right? Now, not just that. From my study of Things Fall Apart, I was able to extract, that's non-diegetic in film, I was able to extract the fact that Chinua Achebe's heroes were fair complexion, not dark complexion. if you study things from apart, I mean, if you study Okonkwo's works, I mean, if you study Achebe's works, you get to that level. So I said, no way. And the producer looked at me and said, who are you? I was only producer 2, and I was talking to my directors. I said, sorry, sir, you can't have him play Okonkwo. You understand? Yes, straight to his face. It was Pala Kalonu who later now called him. And they had a meeting with the MD, the MD of the zone. By the way, that thing from apart was produced by Zone B in Benin City. Zone B had its headquarters in Benin City. That's film history. So the MD now said, Pa, Adela, go into Enugu, find out somebody that could. So they went and brought Pete Edochie. Now, but the issue then was that the director, Dave O'Reilly, said no way over his dead body. A man, Edochie, has come to play Okonkwo, and Okonkwo he must play. Now that's the ethnic chauvinism. The MD now said, bring Pete, bring a man, let's have an audition. An audition was held. I don't want to tell you the result of the audition. I don't want to say it here. Because a man Edochie is a consummate actor. True or false? Very true. Consummate actor. At the end of the day, the MD now used his veto power and said, Pete, no matter what, Pete will play Okonkwo. The rest is history. And he carried that role. Carried it. The rest is history. Now what would you learn from this? As small boys and small girls, when your lecturers begin to put you down, listen, you are in the internet. Some of them are not even in the internet. The way you are. You surf the internet and you see these things. Quietly tell them that we've seen so and so there, and it's not obtainable. Some of them will really put you down and prevent you from going out. So go back to the same internet. Yes, let it be your learning field. Yes. One student in the UNN did her first full-length feature in 200 level. A full-length feature she produced while at 200 level. So these are things you ought to begin to look at. Don't look at those lecturers as though your lecturers are demigods. Yes, don't look at them as gods. Otherwise, they put you down. And whatever God has put here as your destiny, they will rubbish it. That's all I can say here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Obi Okoli. When Mr. Uche reached out to me to record this panel, I wanted to meet the panelists to have like a preparation ahead of the panel to deliver efficiently. But he told me no, that his panelists, I don't need to meet them, they are going to give whatever it is I'm coming with. So I'm sure, as I recall you presently, the students would also agree with me that you are our mentors. I would like to ask the last question on this note, Mr. Obi Okoli. Please, how can film practitioners, currently students, give back to the local community and support the next generation of filmmakers? What mentorship opportunities or resources are available for these aspiring filmmakers? Did you guys have anything before can you share?
That's a tough one. It's for me, it's mentorship. I'm not talking about the mentor, my friend here. Cass Chidebere always see, whenever he sees me, he says mentor. Then by mentor, he also means tormentor. Yes. And Cass means mentorship in the other side. I don't know. Now, but mentorship is very, very important. As a filmmaker, there are unwritten rules in film. For instance, there is a call to production, and it is morning time. As a filmmaker, somebody who has film ingrained in him, somebody who has gone through a process. What are you still doing sleeping when it is 9 a.m.? Because some of us, especially our stars, when do they come on set? 11, 12.
Lack of discipline.
The last time I finished shooting yesterday, one person who says she's a star came by 2 p.m. and she kept me on set. She kept me. I looked at her. A little girl. But what can you do? Now, if you as a filmmaker, you are true to filmmaking ethics. First of all, in the morning you leave your room. 7:30, 8 o'clock, you are off. By the time you do it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, somebody is looking at you. You may not know that you already have a child that is watching you. And then, with that kind of due diligence, you already have people that are learning from you. So that is one. Mentorship does not mean that you take money and give somebody. A student who has just come on set has his or her eyes wide open, watching everybody, looking at events. And then, for you as that kind of filmmaker, if you see somebody that is new, green, go to the person, call the person. What are you here for? Most of, let me say, about 80% of them will say, I want to be in acting. Acting is good, really good. But I want to tell you that when it comes to competition, there is very, very stiff competition there. You may not come up the way you really should wish. But when you come into a set, there, look around, and you see that there are other areas. You have props, set. Some of you may not like to go to set because set construction and all that, those people dress anyhow, and you look down on them. But set design, it is. Set design, it is. Because set design is the principle of production design. Okay? Look out for something like that set design. Look out for something like costuming. Makeup. Right? And then for the females amongst you, go into cinematography. There was a film I shot. I used 2 females as I don't want to say DPs, because for me, I come from the old, I belong to the old block. There can't be 2 DPs on the set. Appel. Am I right?
Right.
Good. There can't be 2 DPs. So when you come on set and you say, and you see it on running on this DPs or directors of photography, it's a misnomer. There can only be one DP. The other one is a cameraman or whatever. So go into cinematography. That is an unexplored area that is yawning for people to come into, as ladies, as girls. I've forgotten the trajectory of your question. I have maybe veered off. And that's how I talk. I'm an old man. When I open my mouth, so many things come out. I should be rounding off. But in rounding up, I should say, look at serious film makers. We have a pearl here. He's one of the serious filmmakers. My Da Vinci Lord, right at the back, that's Uzo Obechi. He's a stickler for details. And of course, so is Teco Benson. Look out for people like that. Go close to them. They will not eat you. They will not shove you aside. That's how it is. I cannot keep talking and talking and talking. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, our distinguished panelists. We have benefited a lot from your mindset. We will start the practicals right now, between now and now. Mention networking. So after this panel discussion, use the opportunity, network, ask questions. You're not asking questions right now. Because of the time, the BOI guys are already here, and want to briefly give Mr. Jude Idada to the...
Yeah, before we round up, I just want to give you guys a practical assignment. Just like what he has said about studying the grades. I know you guys are a lot of people here and you can't crowd around them. But I want you guys to go and watch a film called The Fablelands. How many of you know Steven Spielberg? The students, the students, you guys should stand up. All of you stand up. All the students, stand up. Stand up. Jesus, they are paying your school fees. All right, wake up, stand up. Okay, so please, I want you guys to take it upon yourself to go and watch a film called The Fablelands. It's about Steven Spielberg. How many of you know Steven Spielberg? How many of you know Steven Spielberg? No, you are human beings, first and foremost. And always remember that as a filmmaker, you are as good as your lived experiences. You are as good as your lived experiences. You guys are students of life. And in understanding that you're students of life, that is how you can capture art as a reflection of life. So please, I want you guys to go and check out this film called The Fableman. It's about Steven Spielberg. He's basically the greatest living filmmaker that we have right now. The father of cinema in terms of the modern world. So please, I want you guys to go and watch. It's his autobiography. And go and learn how a young boy at the age of 6 started chasing his dreams of being a filmmaker, and how greatness does not happen by chance. It is not by luck. You don't stumble into it. As we've talked about intentionality and all of that, you have to have purpose. You have to see it. You have to dream it. You have to face for it. You have to hunger for it. Wake up thinking about it. Sleep thinking about it. That is the only way you can differentiate yourself. They've done their best. It is left for you now to take Nollywood to another plateau. Because young filmmakers around the world are doing the same thing. Xavier Dolan, how old is he? When he was 19, he had always started shooting films at 15. He's your age mate. He had a phone, started it by 4. I remember the kind of phone they had then. You guys have no excuse. All this quietness, all this timidity, it won't take you anywhere. Hold that dream like this. As they say, no grief for anybody. No grief for anybody. Please, it's easier now. It's easier now for you guys to succeed. Please, do it for yourselves and for us all. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Fablelands. Fablelands is Fabelmans. The Fablelands. It's on Amazon Prime, it's on Apple TV, you'll find it there. The Fablemans. It won the Oscar and all of that. I'm sure Usodima knows about it.
Okay, and one question, an intelligent question. Okay, from the student. You get question. I will do you. Give them mic. Yes, sorry. Another one.
Okay, my name is Ellen Precious, and I'm a mass communication student. Okay, so thank you so much for everything you said. My question is, as a student, a young student who is much interested in script writing, my question is, where do we start from? Because the truth is that they don't teach us these practical aspects in school, like it has already been established. Where do we start from?
Okay, before you answer, let the whole questions come once.
Okay. So, how do you go about script writing? Okay, quick one. First and foremost, writing is a very lonely occupation. It's something you can do by yourself. First and foremost, just put that in your head. It's a very lonely occupation. You don't have to wait for critical mass before you do that. There's a lot of people to join you to do it. But first, you are still also the foundation of the entire creative process. So now, as I said, it's easier for you guys now. You have YouTube. In YouTube, you see a lot of videos that are teaching you the fundamentals of storytelling and screenwriting. Go first on that. Number two, you understand the formatting, you understand the technical aspects of film, of screenwriting as it were. Number two, you can download as many screenplays as you are interested in of films that you like. Because when you see the finished film, you are seeing the work of Teco. You are not actually seeing the screenplay, because while he's directing, he's making changes and all of that, he's interpreting what somebody else has written. So it's interesting for you to see a film that you like and go and read the screenplay to understand how that imagination or the concept was set and how it was interpreted. You can download everything, any film that you want, that you like, foreign film. I don't know about Nigerian. Yes, I'll go there. Then you have free. Look at Ali's Final Draft. I'm a professional screenwriter. Final Draft, you have to pay for it. I know it's expensive. There's actually a discounted student version, but it's in dollars and it's more expensive. But there's something called Celtex. Celtex is cheaper and it's free. You can download that and start using that. But also remember, everybody remember this thing. Your brain is a muscle. It needs to be exercised. It's like going to the gym. The more you go to the gym, isn't it the more muscular you become? It's the same way with your brain. The more you read and the more you write, the better you become. So they say the greatest writing is in rewriting. Let that first draft come out. Once you know the technicalities, let that your imagination flow. The first draft come out. Then you start doing your drafts and redraft by sharing it to people and people giving you feedback. But remember, it's input in and then output. It's whatever you take in that you can polish and bring out. Go and study the greats. Download their screenplays, read it, watch the videos online and understand the way to go. Nobody needs to do it for you. You can start writing on your phone. That is why I say it is the cheapest thing to do, but it's also the loneliest because it's only you that is doing it. All right?
Thank you very much. Thank you. The more will be answered when they come for the OKK master classes. We are going to take the last two questions, so they will answer once because this place is shutting down the more now.
Okay, good afternoon, sirs, everybody. My question is on networking. I'm a student of Okwuowulu University. So, we students of Okwuowulu University, we are limited in some things. We can't go out and do things. And even if we have the vision to do filmmaking or anything, we can't do it because we are restricted. The school will not allow you to go out. It's a private university. So the school will not allow you to go out. Coffee time is like 6 p.m. Even if you want to go out and do something, you will not be able to do it because you are limited. And even if you challenge them, you'll be penalized for it. So how do we do it? Many of us have the vision of going out, seeing things, coming to conference. Even this conference, we had to leave lectures to come here. And our coffee time is 6 p.m. And we have to leave here any moment from now so that we can get to the hostel in order not to be penalized. So how do we do it?
How do we do it? Sorry, before you answer, let the last question come.
Hello, Dr. Charles. This is just for you, actually. I want to know, because it is a serious issue where we are talking about Nigerian universities running what I would say is obsolete curriculum when it comes to film. It's not just about our coming here to do it. Is there anything you want us to do, as individuals who are part of the system to actually call their attention? Because I believe it is actually time to redefine what our students are reading. Somebody should not go to university and spend 4 years and reading nonsense. And they are coming out and they are saying it. The people who have gone in are correcting why they spend 4 years. And now we have other students who are actually aspiring to still go in and go another 4 years. It's not just about you saying that you will get Ushaku, who is the convener of this festival, to see how the university professors can be gathered. I think there is Nigerian University Commission or whatever. Is there anything you believe we can do deliberately to actually start their consciousness? And it's not because we can say that maybe here, I have actually paid. I didn't read theater art, but I have so many people that are reading something. And I believe they still complain the something. I have a lot of students coming from University of Benin, a lot of students coming from University of Port Harcourt who are already graduates. They want to come and study what we are doing. Some of them will come and you don't think they have the finances to support. And there are so many of them, they don't know anything. And these are people that are carrying certificates, they don't know anything. So how do we get it from? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Sorry, you will answer once. So you take it. 5 minutes.
Sir, I have a question for you. You said we only have one DOP and the other person is the cameraman. So can you throw more light between difference between a DOP and a cameraman? Because in some movies we have DP1 and DP2.
Okay. Yes, I want to answer the girl's question. Number one, hello, one house, please. So, the advice I will give you, I understand the peculiarity of your situation. You are in school now, so face your academics in school. Anytime you have holiday or break, go for internship. That's why this networking you're having here is the best thing that will happen to your life. Collect all the numbers you can collect. During holidays, you can come on internship with Professor Charles. There are many good filmmakers here. Practicing from Enugu, I'm in Lagos, I'm far away from you. But you can take my number, you can still call me and still get something useful. I have masters in communication studies. So mass communication will prepare most of you very well. So don't regret the course you are doing, is fantastic. And like you said, writing is a lonely profession. During our own time, you know that in the 90s, I have to travel to London and South Africa to go and buy books on film. You can't see any book on film in Nigeria by that time. There was no industry. And there was no internet, there was no YouTube, there was no Google. You are the luckiest generation in this world. You don't know what has happened to you guys. If you sit down on YouTube and type anything you want to know, you will see it. You can go for any master class on script writing, on cinematography, or anything you want. And you can get more than you can get from any university can give you in the world. So just take it serious, face your academics. During holidays, you can do that. I don't know if you should answer the DP guy or I should handle the DP guy. So for the DP, director of photography is an individual, an expert. You understand? So an expert is employed.
And he has a department.
Yes, he runs that department, with all that practitioners under him, right? So there's one DP in a film. So people need 2 cameras now. What you can do if you have a 2-camera or 3-camera system, that DP can employ camera operators that can run the whole cameras. The DP does not even necessarily need to handle the camera. He can even stand without touching the camera and give instruction to his camera operators. Because he is the one that works with the director. The director tells him his vision for the movie, for the whole scene. He will not call his gaffers and all his team, assemble all of them, and try to create the director's vision.
Even the still photographer is under him.
Exactly. All right. So what you see us write DOP for, you have 7 cameras, 7 DOPs. It's an insult. It's not.
It's not professional. That's what I was trying to say.
All right, let's
Thank you so much. Okay, first of all, there's something NUC is doing now. They call it CCMAS, curriculum development. They are trying to redesign all the curriculums in university curricula in the universities, in Nigerian universities, and definitely they actually brought up about 70%, uniformity in various, with respect to theater and film studies, for instance, they brought up 70% uniformity and now told various schools to add 30% peculiarities based on the environment. Now, I chaired the one, my department did last year. Let me just tell you my experience. And that's why I call on, the industry to organize sections for lecturers. I discovered that most lecturers have this apathy for the industry. They don't want to connect. When we talk about the problem is not the students. The students are willing to participate. There is the fourth Coast City Festival. All through the years, I've been coming here with my students, but I'm no more the head of department. The head of department is in his core to release the students to go for the festival. Not just in my school, at University of Nigeria, Nsukka. For instance, the director of this festival is a lecturer in University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Immediately I saw her, I asked her, why are your students not here? Why are your lecturers not here? So the problem, I think, is for us to create this awareness that the students will learn more from the festival, much more than they learn from the classroom. And then they will connect more with the practitioners, much more than their connection from the classroom. And now, granted, throwing your question, granted, there is this process of designing the curriculum, yes. But that process is still, for me, to my best understanding, is not happening the way it should happen, because most people who are trying to redesign this curriculum, they are not, interfacing very well with the practitioners. They are the same professors that are, in the university system, not interacting with the practitioners. So I think that what the industry needs to do, like DGN, AGN, is to organize seminars. Take it to the professors, not to the lecturers, not the students first. When we have this synergy between the lecturers and the practitioners, it will naturally trickle down to the students. That's my submission to this. Thank you.
Yes, there is good a thing we have the president of the national president of AGN here. There is also 2 or 3, past presidents of DGN here. Just like that, if the guild heads, as it were, could come together, you know that this problem is there. It is also your problem. Yes. Arrange something, whatever it is, call it, I don't know how you're going to fund it, but get the gown to attend it. Select them from departments of theater and film studies. Select them. Then get speakers to talk with them, to dialogue with them. Maybe it's going to be a way. Rather than all the time having students here, there is nothing they can do. That is, if we have a top to bottom approach, rather than bottom to top approach. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please, our time is eating into the back of industry. They will shut here down very soon. because of the routine we are running. Our time for this session is fast spent. Thank you. We're going to make welcome the backup industry to tell us how to generate funds for our creative niche, one after the other. And we have less than 10 minutes. So let's just listen to him before can we put our hands together for him as he comes. Thank you very much as we clap out our veterans also. Please, the panelists, you're requested at the picture stand for group picture, please, with our moderator. I think she's outside already. So please, Sir Jude, at the